All right. Today, boys and girls, I have a story for you while I'm at work. I'm talking with somebody and they were like, tinctures don't make, they don't make the substance that you put into this tincture stronger. The substance, if you eat it, it has benefits and effects. And if you make a tincture out of it, it will generally almost always make it stronger. Why is this? It's very simple because, first of all, the substance is already within the stasis of Earth. Now, Earth's atmosphere has a operation. It has an underlying micro operation, just an average. It's different in different places, right? Next to stone, it's this. Next to in the air, it's that, right? We have different. It's different all over the place. Now, particles that are in stasis are in 99.9 repeating percent similarity. Now, we just assume that. Similarity to what? To all other infinite possible particle operations within the square vector, okay? Now, let's talk about what are the competing other things. Everything in the universe. Now, the known stable particles at molecule level are it's basically based off of our visible equilibrium, the mass that's already here, and the stars. Right? So our visible equilibrium, the mass that's already here, and the stars. All of that brings together a thing that I've been calling micro order failure, basically. If one micro order and another micro order come together, they don't have to create symbiosis where they make one unified molecule or one unified operation. They can instead fail to do that and maintain two molecules instead of one molecule, right? Very simple logic. The releases of energy around the molecule and around the other molecule are not in a way where they're stable and coming together like this, but instead they're already pushing themselves apart and then stay apart. This is very simple, very simple. Now, this would be changed if in the exact same situation where the molecules bounce off of each other and don't create one new unified molecule, right? We could change the atmosphere to another planet, bring that over here, and put that same exact molecule in here. And as it's getting closer, its electromagnetic field is different, and it will create symbiosis, and it'll attach and create one unified, more dense molecule. Now, what I was talking about is the tincture. Why does a tincture make a substance like lion's mane stronger? Because the effects are going to be radioactive. The energy, the electromagnetic field. Think about it this way: charcoal. Charcoal is an ingredient in gunpowder. Because what is charcoal made out of? Fire. You put fire, it's exploding violently over and over and over near a fire. And then you just take this thing that isn't burnt and put everything else, most of the ingredients in it, because it's mostly carbon, it's mostly highly kinetic energy carbon from fire, right? And then you can make a bomb or it's a reagent for gunpowder. Besides the point, very similar theology here is tinctures. Alcohol is boiled. Not only this, it's fermented. It's fermented. You have living things in there for a long period of time. You run it through a steam process where you steam out the alcohol. So now you're charcoaling this alcohol out of a fermented process, right? So it's kinetically charged. You kinetically charge it even more. You have a living organism like lion's mane, and you put it into the tincture, and this highly kinetic energy charged thing they're both stable things, mostly stable. Alcohol is not too stable. You put it out there, it evaporates. Actually becomes other substances in no time. What does it become? Well, it actually kind of becomes its surroundings. Whatever its surroundings, it'll turn into like alcohol gas, and then those vapors will basically become nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen, anything that's in the air. Look at whatever's in the air. It's not alcohol, so it'll just evaporate, and you won't have that problem. It will decohere. It will decay, because alcohol isn't actually naturally stable. In the air. So I want to talk more about how molecules come together and do this. It is mostly because of the stars. They are the number one factor. Now, if the stars were more expanded, it would allow more forming of molecules, but not necessarily, because a more expanded, more powerful star grid shooting in would shoot in onto us, and we would change our equilibrium from A to B. And B would not necessarily always see all of that happen. It might see less, right? So you have to keep in mind that if you're able to be an old soul and an ancient, and you make multiple different eye-based, visible-based discoveries, you're going to be able to see more of the universe, right? Like microscopes. Microscopes didn't always exist. Telescopes didn't always exist. Satellites didn't always exist. Tesseracts and cameras, they didn't always exist. We make all these different kind of field sensors. They didn't always exist. We just came out with like quantum entanglement computers that can monitor the boson field. That didn't always exist. We didn't always have that. We now have that. We have all these technologies and all these new eye transmuters or eye shaders. I don't even know what to call them, skins, or they're not really skins, but they're like alternators. So you can check out the subatomic fields. But what I really want to get to is I want to help you understand that because A exists and B exists, these two particles, does not mean that they always are sharing data or are connected. They are disconnected because of the equilibrium. And you are an equilibrium. So even if you have infinite power and you're like, relative to this infinite power, these two particles are the same particle, well, they're not. These two particles are connected and they operate and have this operation. No, they're not. Okay, these are common misconceptions in particle physics. People say this all the time. What you need to make these two particles do this is you need more cannon. You need more power, more stars. I know I can't repeat this enough, but I'm really trying to teach you something that's not sayable. So I can't say it because it's a physical thing that happens in the fourth and fifth dimension. There's all of these interactions going on when these particles create one new molecule out of two molecules. And this happens in the world of computing too. The world of, I would say, souls and vessels and planets and universes and metaverses and all of this stuff. You need the power of the universe to make these two particles one particle, one stronger particle. And a lot of times people aren't understanding that. They're saying that it's already happened or it already did happen, but it didn't happen. Not only did it not happen, that same exact time they're saying it did, missing the requirements, missing the reagents, missing the power. Now, maybe they're seeing a virtual particle, but in the real world, they're not. And if it is a virtual particle, virtual particles that are for just you and not and not everybody else, well, that's not real, right? So you have to worry about that as well, because you could dial in your eyes' senses to a virtual particle, because your body and your mind is literally forcing and mandating there to be a particle there. So basically you could be attacking your own eyes and your own mind, your own soul, your own vessel, with the fact that there is a particle there when there really isn't, because it's just light mass. It's very easy to, spoof this kind of stuff. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. If you guys have any questions about this, put it down in the comments below, because I'm a master at this stuff. I understand it fully. Like the fifth dimension, I understand the whole thing, dog. The whole thing. That's a science joke. There actually is no understanding the whole fifth dimension. It's actually impossible. All right, it's an infinity, boys. It's an infinity. You can't ever know it, no matter who you are. It's a wisdom thing. Where, like, in a fourth dimension, you can know everything. In a third dimension, you can know everything. In a 2 dimension, you can know everything, but in the 5th dimension, it's impossible for any being to know it, because it's an illogical thing. It's basically infinite infinities of all infinities. Like, once you hit 5th dimension, nobody knows all of it. It's more so this when you get to, like, when you want to throw in religion and beliefs and science and all this stuff together, it's purity. The 5th dimension will teach you purity. You want to be closeness to holy. You want to be closeness to true. You want to be closeness to right. You want to be closeness to power. You want to be closeness to wealth. In the 5th dimension, that's what you do. You gravitate to these operations that you believe in. Anyway, have a good day. Peace out. Won't be bummer out.